Hello, everybody. This is Max Cavalera. Go ahead and die. Soulfly, Cavalera Conspiracy, Killer BQ. You listen to the Brutally Delicious podcast. Stay hungry and metal.
One, two, three, four. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast.
Yo,
How are you, my friend?
good. How you doing, man?
I am doing great. Good to talk to you.
Cool. Good to talk to you too.
Long-time fan.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Where are you guys at today?
We're in Roseville,
Roseville. What state is that in?
California.
Oh, okay.
It's right outside Sacramento.
Oh, okay. Northern side. How's the tour going so
Yeah.
far?
Great. I'm in the back of the bus, as you can see.
Yeah.
Yep. Man, killer tour. I love it. It's fucking fantastic. Really, really fun. A lot of energy at the shows, high energy. A lot of trashing, raging, loud, aggressive.
Everything great.
All the ingredients for a great, barbecue that's in
Yeah.
there.
100%. So you guys are playing like smaller venues with this sort of thing. Do you find is the energy just as good? Is it different? Because normally you play bigger arenas, right?
Yeah. No, I enjoy both, man. I'm not gonna lie. But there's something about this small shows for this kind of music. It's perfect. I almost think that this kind of music wouldn't even really work on a big setting. It's too raw. It's too
Right.
gnarly. And when
It's
you
kind of
do
back
it
to
in
the roots, right?
it's back to like it reminds me of my early tours.
Right.
The early Sepultura tours of the '89 era, which is like crowds, right? No barricades, you can touch people, and
Right.
yeah, and it's so fun, man. So fun for
Hot
me
and sweaty.
since I've done everything. Like going back to the roots, it's like, yeah, it's a challenge, but it's an amazing feeling.
That's great. And what's it like touring with your son?
Oh, that's also great. That's an old dream, like I get to fulfill that dream. Playing music with my kids. I got, Zion plays drums for Soulfly, and Igor, we have Go Ahead and Die. It's actually more of Igor's band than mine. He wrote most of the stuff and produced the record.
Right.
I'm his sidekick on this one.
You're the hired hand?
Yeah, I'm on the side, like I'm not on the center. Takes a lot of the pressure out. Like I want to let him do his thing. Like you talk more to the crowd. I'm just
Right.
gonna play guitar and trash and headbang, and
Right.
which is a new thing for me. Normally I'm in the center, always talking to the crowd.
Right.
So this is kind of cool. It's very, very different environment.
And I imagine the crowd is great too, right? Because it's going to be multi-generational. You're going to have people like myself, old school fans of you, and then the newer metalheads that are coming to see your son as well.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot. You get all the the guys that grew up my age. It's funny. This is like a third generation, because on Soulfly we hit second generation, which was a father was a Sepultura fan, the son was more of a Soulfly fan.
Right.
Now this is a third generation where it's like a young kid. It's being brought to the show because of Go Ahead and Die itself, and it's
Right.
connected with the underground, with all the bands that we play, like Body Box and the 200 Stab Wounds and all that stuff. So it's great. It's a trip, man. 3 generations just to see that right in front of your eyes. Yeah, it's killer, man. I don't know like how to explain, but it just feels different. We do meet and greets after the show, and I can feel the excitement. We are creating something new here, and it's from the ground up, which is amazing.
Did you ever imagine you'd still be playing shows and playing this aggressive music this far along in your career? Because we're not young anymore, right?
That's right. I embrace getting old myself. I actually not one of those guys that complain. I embrace like the scars, the gray hair.
Right.
Embrace it. You know, there's a lot of wisdom you carry. A lot of it took a lot to get here. You know,
A lot to even survive, right?
yeah, and that's great, man. And I think that's cool. Like instead of trying, like you know, it's almost like you wear as a badge of honor. You know,
Right.
that you have the right to be here because you survived. You know, we survived grunge, man. We survived hair metal.
Yeah.
We survive all those things, and we're still here. You know,
Right.
and I'm still doing what I love, which is play fast music. That's in my
Right.
blood. Yeah.
That's great. So, Unhealthy Mechanisms, what's been the response to it so far? Pretty good?
Really good. Actually, like I think the record itself, I like it more than the first one. I think is more mature,
Right.
more complete kind of a record. We played the whole record every night.
Oh,
Every
that's
song.
great.
Yeah. So it's the whole second record, and then a couple songs from the first record. We're also doing a cover with Body Box. We do Ministry, New World Order.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is really fun. Hopefully get to record that. That would have been really cool because it just came out fantastic. We just made a metal punk version of it, you know. Kind of took the industrial element out and we show it as a metal punk song stripped down to its
Right.
raw form. And that's killer. And yeah, like I think that the record itself, there's many cool things. Like Druggle Cop is one of the highlights of the night. I actually come out dressed like a sheriff. You know, I got my sheriff shirt. I got my
Really?
hat. Yeah. It's have a little fun with it. You know. And then the rest of the set is just pure. Just plug in and go, man. You know, like the old way of making
Right.
rock and roll. You know, the Black Sabbath way, the Van Halen way. You know, you
Yeah.
plug in and it's all live. You're not no gimmicks, man. It's you know, touch and go, man. You know, plug in and you're on. You're off running. You know,
That could be dangerous too, though, right? Because it could not go as planned.
well, that's part of the excitement, though. It's sometimes we're so fast that I don't think we're in sync with the drummer. Like it's falling off the riff, you know.
Right.
I'm trying to keep up. The drummers keep, you know, the riff is going fast and but somehow we make it work. You know, it's part of the fun.
That's nice. When you guys were writing this record, how much of it were you involved with, or was it mostly your son and then you came along after?
Yeah, I mean, I work with him on the riffs. That was the most of my contribution was riffing with him because that's where we bonded. It's sitting down and exchanging riffs with each other, and then like he wrote a lot of the lyrics. He came up with the subject of mental health for the whole
Yeah.
record. I think it's really important and really a cool subject to touch. And then a lot of the recording was really live recording too, like first takes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to explore that thing about your first instinct, the best one, and you record it. You know, you don't think twice.
Yeah.
You don't
I've always heard from people that a lot of times they do all these other overdubs and punch-ins and all this other bullshit, and then they go, you know what, I fucked it up. I should have stayed with the original because that was the...
Hey, what's up? My name's Lurk, and I'm the host of Lambgoat's Van Flip podcast. Every week, I have in-depth conversations with bands from all over the scene, big and small. We also like to keep our finger on the pulse and showcase up-and-coming bands on the show as well. So come check out Lambgoat's Van Flip podcast.
That was the one, the inspired one.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you listen to albums like Van Halen's first record, that's what I feel like. Like it was. Yeah, I feel like that was a lot of first instinct stuff. Like they just it's there. You don't need to keep thinking. You don't need to change much. So that was a lot of that involved in this album. Like a lot of my vocal takes were like, I just went once, and the guy's like, "You want to redo it?" No, I'm good.
It makes it more real, though, right?
It's imperfect, but real. It keeps
and
it
organic,
real, organic, and there's something cool about that. Don't second guess yourself, because you're right. Sometimes second guess, you can fuck shit up. You can like something that's really cool. You might ruin it by overthinking and keep trying to, like the first idea is generally the best one. So just roll with that,
So I got to ask you a question not related to the band. Van Halen, you mentioned. Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth? Where are you?
I like both, but I prefer Roth from the
right.
He's a unique individual. The craziness, and I think the material also. The first 5 albums, those are sacred.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like Fair Warning and Women and Children First. My God, those are good.
Yeah. But I always thought Eddie was an amazing songwriter.
Yes.
And I love a lot of the songs that Sammy sang too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch of great stuff, right now. That song right now is amazing.
That whole record, 5150, I love. Yeah.
Yeah. But you put me on a spot, ask which one I like better. Yeah, it's got to be Dave. Diamond Dave, baby.
So when you guys were writing, were you guys all together in the old school sense of bouncing things off each other, or were you sending stuff back and forth via like email or whatever?
No, so me and Eagle wrote the whole record ourselves first, and we made demos of it. They're like 4-track kind of demos. And then we got Johnny play drums, and it was really funny because it was originally written in Drum Machine, where you can go 220 BPM without breaking a sweat. It's easy. But then you tell him to play that shit, he was like, "I can't go that fast. That's a machine."
Right?
It's like, well,
for every night, right?
Do the best you can to try to match the machine, But yeah, he did, man. He did great. I think the once we got to the studio and we start grabbing the demo songs and turn them into real songs, then you kind of play it live, everybody together in the room, just going for it,
I think that's the best way to do it, and I think it comes across more. We said organic already, but I think it comes across more real and organic, right? You listen to bands from the old days, like from our days, they used to do it that way, in a room and bouncing shit off each other, and it kind of moves and grooves and grows, as opposed to sending stuff back and forth where there's no interaction.
And a lot of people do that, and nothing wrong with it. It's whatever, but I prefer
too quantized, too much quantization, right? It needs to move.
I prefer I gotta be in a room with it's the same thing with the live setting. Like we got amps in a. Don't take my amps off the stage, man. That's sacrilegious.
You're not using Kempers, right? You're using amps.
We use amps, man. I don't want to go into that sci-fi world, I'm happy with my caveman world.
Right. But I mean, honestly, if it works, why change it?
Yeah, and that's exactly the point. Is like, to me, the way Black Sabbath was playing, AC/DC, and then Motorhead. Motorhead's a big one.
Yeah.
It's all really about the moment and the energy. We're not Pink Floyd, and we're not Rush, and we're not gonna be like that. We're not trying to sound perfect. We want to sound exciting. So we choose the energy over being too technically perfect.
Right. And you say that, but like it's a bad thing, but you guys are still, I mean, yourself and especially are, trendsetters. You've been the godfather of the extreme metal music, so it works.
Yeah, and I enjoy it like that. I don't, if I do it any other way, I think you'll take the enjoyment out of it. And it's one of those things. I believe music, there's magic involved. I know it's cheesy to say magic, but I don't know any other word. There's an element of an unknown thing that happen when you're playing music, even the connection with your fans.
Yeah.
It only happened right there at that moment. And you cannot really
no, because
do it differently. That's why I don't believe in this AI shit either, man. Fuck all that.
Right.
It's human, organic. It's me. It's my heart, my soul. People are feeling that when they go see me live. They won't get that they feel that anywhere else but there with me. That's
right.
The only way we can make that connection. And that's why the shows are amazing and different and exciting. Every night is different, especially this tour is like I mentioned. I was joking, but it's like there's an element of danger, or like I joke say we're making the metal danger again. Like you go play and you don't know what's gonna happen.
Right. I mean, the train could go right off the tracks.
Anything can happen. You can get hurt, but it's fun and games.
And I think you're right though, because live albums can never capture that sort of intensity either. Like I've never been a fan of live records because they're always polished or whatever, and you never get that intensity that you get at the actual show.
You know what I used to love is bootleg tapes.
Yeah,
I used to have a shitload of Van Halen,
like from the crowd,
tapes, from the crowd, from the soundboard.
Yeah,
I think once you do it live, it's somehow most of them are overproduced anyway. Even though the great live record, I believe they went in the studio and they
So I will say I said all of that, but Kiss Alive is still amazing, right?
I don't know how much post production they did on that, but that's one of the few ones that you feel the energy when you listen to it.
I like to think in my head they did none, that it was just real. So don't ruin it for me.
Yeah, but like I say, the bootlegs though, like that was the real thing. Like I had the many old Van Halen bootlegs, and I remember listening to it and it sounded like crap. Sounds horrible, but you love the band so much that you don't care about the quality. You care about what's that giving it to you. The emotion you're getting from that tape. That's more important than again. I'm choosing energy over quality.
Right. But you even in those bootlegs, you even hear the crowd, right? You hear everything, like the people singing next to you, and everybody screaming, and you get that whole thing. You're there.
I remember my mother walk in the room and she goes, "What are you listening to? This sounds horrible. I cannot hear one instrument, And to me, it was like, "What are you talking about? This sounds great."
Right. What do you have next, Max? Are you guys after this tour? Are you doing more stuff, or are you taking a break and moving on?
No, Soulfly is doing a couple festivals. We're doing Rockville, Sonic Temple. Those are two main U.S. festivals. We're doing Lamb of God, both.
You are?
October, yeah. And then some touring in Europe at summer.
How do you keep up with all these different projects?
Just roll from one to the other, man. It's automatic, almost. And I love that. I love that I get to experience different crowds, different sounds. Go Ahead and Die is very different from Soulfly, and then from Killer BQ, from Cavalera. They all have different things that I love about them individually. And every time I go on each one of them on tour, it's a new trip. It feels young, feels new, feels fresh because of that.
How do you keep them all separate? Like when you sit down to write, are you like, I need to write for the Cavalera Conspiracy, or I need to write for Soulfly, or I need to write for Go Ahead and Die? Or do you just write and say, this will fit here?
mostly I write specifically for the record. So intentionally, I try to separate them and do things that are gonna stand out for the certain
That
record.
project, right?
Yeah. So that way they have a character of their own. You know, the best example is like "Go Ahead and Die." It's all like real pre-punk metal,
Right. House
shit.
shows. I think of house shows when I hear it.
and then if I go do the Killer Be Kill, I know the guys can really sing like Troy and Greg, so I bust out more melodic riffs,
Right.
stuff that I really normally wouldn't really do it on my Soulfly. Then Soulfly, of course, how the tribal thing is big there. You know, we're bringing all that back now. You know, so they're all fun. All of them are fun, and all of them have they take me to a different place on each one of them that I delve into.
Right. Sweet. Max, thank you for your contributions to the metal world. I don't know where we'd be without your without Roots. It would be a whole different world.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Big
Nice talking
fan.
to you.
Be safe on the road, and hopefully we'll catch you soon.
All right, man.
Take
Peace
care, my
out.
friend. Keep it metal.
Well, hey friends, my name is Zach Lupetin. You may know me from the band Dust Bowl Revival, but I also host a music discovery podcast called The Show on the Road. For the last 5 seasons, I've been able to dive deep and have intimate chats with folks like the Lumineers, Ani DeFranco, Wolfpack, Keb Mo, Lake Street Dive, Bela Fleck, and more. So guess what? After 150 conversations with some of my favorite songwriters from around the world, we are bringing brand new episodes to the Osiris Network. New interviews and intimate acoustic performances will be coming at you this summer. And which episodes are coming next, you ask?
I am Zach Goody, the lead singer for the band Smash Mouth.
Our band is called Milky Chance. We are based in Berlin.
My name is David Shaw. I sing and write songs with my band, The Revivalists.
Trust me, these conversations go some wild places. So subscribe to The Show on the Road on Osiris, and we'll see you soon.